So, you know, yes, the reality is that we expect BDS to do very well here. Yes, we expect it to be difficult for Dplus here, and it'd be remiss of us to say anything other than that. But, make no mistake, from somebody who has watched thousands of hours of this game, I have been surprised on more than one occasion.
Do you know what the happiness formula is, Tim? Have you read that? Have you ever heard of the book?
I've never heard of the happiness formula.
So happiness equals expectation minus reality.
Okay.
Which is why in life, if you always expect great and amazing things and you don't get them, it's why you feel sad in life, you don't feel happy. That is why this game is going to be extremely joyous, because our expectation for Dplus Kia is quite low.
I was going to say my expectations day to day must be low, because I'm always really happy.
You don't expect much, Tim, and you just
whatever reality sends my way, I'm happy for it.
You walk outside and it's like, oh, I expect it to be -2 degrees today, but it's actually +3. Oh, I'm so happy. That's why you're always beaming and just full of beans, mate. It's your job. Bans are flying on through. It's worth touching on these as well. I was looking at the last time these teams played it. BDS banned away, Tubarão and Monty. That was against Team Bliss, as I said, over half a year ago. But the Monty is sticking. The Mirror is going to follow on through. And Dplus Kia, when they play this map last, they banned away Mirror and the Monty, which has been done for them. So they get a bit of free reign here, and what they choose to ban, it's going to be the Tubarão coming on the defensive side and the Maverick on the attacking side. No doubt a bit of a target ban in towards BDS here. I know Breeda's played the Maverick quite a few times. We actually saw him play it last time around. They played this exact map, so a little bit of homework being done on what they've seen before. However, as we keep on saying, this feels like a tough matchup no matter which way you want to slice it.
I mean, it's always...
Oh God, Shaiko's on Deimos, everybody hide.
I was just going to say the same thing. It's always the problem when you're playing BDS. Map banning phase. Right, yeah, we're going to ban these maps. Oh, but BDS couldn't play really well everywhere, so that's a problem. Right, so we get into the operator banning phase. Right, we're going to take the shield away, or we're going to take the Maverick away from Breeda. Oh, but that means that Shaiko's got the Deimos. Like, you can't win. You take the Deimos away from Shaiko, he'll play the Nomad. You'll have Maverick coming in from Breeda. Like, it's just very, very difficult to do anything against a team who've got such a deep pool. But that being said, let's, you know, also face a bit of reality for BDS. They're not in the winners' matches right now.
No, they were 1 round away from being there, though, Tim.
They were. It was close. But the reality is that they're 0-1.
Yeah.
And they come in here now needing a result. And, you know, that all adds pressure. You know, all these little things will impact on potential performance. So let's get into things and see just exactly how this one's going to play out. It's BDS versus Dplus Kia. We are on Clubhouse, and we go into round 1. And look at this. BDS are not messing about. Sledging straight into the garage. I imagine they've got the drones around top floor. They know what they're expecting above them. They're attacking onto basement. Do they know about MB Taylor's position would be a question. A drone right in his face would suggest that yes, they do.
Yeah, indeed. I mean, the one player they've got to watch out for upstairs is the Mute. Yunsang here out towards Jim's side. He's the one looking to waste a little bit of time, so moving fast is, I don't want to say of the essence, it's still important, but it's not they have to move at a rapid pace. You've also got Woogie inside of Cash and CC. They clear these 2 players out, suddenly you've got a 5v3 on site. You're dreaming at that point if you're BDS. So keep a close eye on how these early engagements go. They're the most important parts. If they can chew their way through these 2 players, again, the round starts to open up. Woogie has kept himself in a good spot, and he's dealt with Solotov here as well. Now got himself inside of construction to back it up, and Unsang's even jumped out as well and got Leakafat. A nice little bit of aggression, a bit of fat, happy feet here moving around from these 2 players has got them into a great position, where instead of it being a 5v3 for the attackers, it's actually the other side, Dplus Kia, who have got the man advantage. These 2 players now want to get back towards site and go, you know what? Just close the front door, boys. We've got a 5 versus 3 here. If we can hold up on site and lock it down, this is our round to win.
Well, expectation minus reality is going to be equal in plenty of happiness for Dplus Kia at the minute, does, with the way things have started. 2 solid gunfights that they've just won there as well. Absolutely fantastic stuff. Corton manages to pick up Shaiko, just spraying through that soft wall. Finds his man just on the opposite side of stage. And right now, things are not looking great for BDS. We came in waxing lyrical about how they were going to dismantle Dplus Kia here on Clubhouse. I mean, let's remember, it is Dplus Kia's primary site choice. We expect them to do big things here, but they've done it in a great way. They've been very confident. They've won gunfights up on the top floor. They are coming out looking to play. They're coming out looking to challenge. They're not turtling up. They're not letting BDS bring the fight to them. This has been played the way Dplus Kia wanted to play it.
It's been a wonderful first round, and I'm very happy to be proven wrong. Like, we love an underdog story anyway, Tim, and this does feel like one of those David versus Goliath situations. After given how the first round has played out, you wouldn't guess that it's Dplus Kia sat in a position like this where they've had a 5v1. Sure, they're giving away 2, but at this point, I kind of feel like Woogie and Unsang have earned the opportunity to try and go for this kill here as well. He's finding himself down to 69 HP, nice, and now trying to work his way down towards blue with about 15 seconds on the clock. There's 3 players ready to swing on him. Great first round from Dplus Kia. Barely even letting BDS inside the building.
Going to be Envy Taylor picking up the final one, like you say. They just BDS went in there with a plum to begin with, smashed into the garage, straight in, no messing about. I'm expecting they've got drones everywhere, they know where everybody is, they're confident they're going to go and chase them down. They tried to do that, but Dplus Kia were having absolutely none of it. Those 2 gunfights up on the top floor that they won, Woogieman and Unsang up there, they really turned the round there, and I mean, Woogieman particularly did fantastic in that entry engagement because they knew where he was. They were ready for the challenge. ADS'd in. The fact that he won that was absolutely brilliant stuff. So Dplus Kia, if you remember, coming into this, what did I say Dplus Kia needed to do to give them a chance? They needed to do the basics. Their fundamentals had to be good. No mistakes. That's exactly what happened in that round. Their fundamentals were good. They won their gunfights.
There was no one trying to play trades or cut off the construction push, to be fair, as well, so it was a little bit difficult to get any response off that. And to be fair, you never expect Unsang to go throwing out the gym window to try and go for a kill onto a player on South Balcony as well. That was a big ball play, and it paid off because he got the kill. And suddenly that's 2 players down, and what more is there to say? As you can probably tell, there is a tech pause on the go at the minute. We've had all of the Dplus Kia players had to leave the lobby, and I expect they'll rejoin. So I'm going to do a full rehost, which is important. But this is what I mean, like this jump out here. Fair play, you're doing it on a mute as well. It's not exactly the best at long range, and had a very comfortable first round. Good stuff.
Yeah, it was great for them. You know, it's certainly going to give BDS something to think about, I'm sure. You know, like I said, let's not forget, BDS are currently 0-1.
We should give a shout out to Envy Taylor, by the way. He's 32 years old.
I was going to say,
playing this game.
He's been playing a lot of Siege. He's playing a lot of Siege.
I remember Envy back in the day of, like, you know, looking back at the Giants days, like the Cloud9 days, back when he was like a buck main and that was his go-to all the time. Like, I used to love watching him play. And obviously he stepped back, he became a coach for a while at FearX and left that team. He's now on Dplus Kia, and I just want to say fair play. Thanks for doing it for the oldies is all I'm going to say. All us over 30s that stand here. I know you're looking at me with real judgmental eyes being like, Des, you can't say oldies.
I'm just... Yeah,
you're about to enter a whole new, like, category of your own, Tim.
I'm grateful I'm still allowed to play ranked.
Did it take away your permit when you hit 40?
Yeah, yeah, my ranked license. I have to do it every year.
It's like applying for a drive. What's the test, though? Because I imagine like a driving license. We know what that looks like, but what's the test to get a rank permit?
You'd have to put some site setup tests in there.
Yeah.
I don't want any rotates being reinforced. If you're reinforcing my rotate, I'm revoking your rank license immediately.
No, but you've done the test though, because you're doing it every year now as you're coming up to the age where you're gonna have to get one.
I'm not old enough yet.
What does the test contain?
Ridiculous. I'll find out when I'm old enough.
Yet.
I'm only 23.
I was about to swear then. When's your birthday again?
It's in July.
In July, okay then. We'll do a test then. We're going to line you up a ranky test.
We could maybe do the 60-second test. You know that they did on a UL. I've been practicing that one.
Oh, the shooting one.
Yeah. Shooting the target balls on.
What was your score?
60 seconds. Well, P4 and people like that were around 130 something in 60 seconds with like 85% accuracy. When I've been really practicing it, I can get up to about 116, 117 at similar accuracy, which I think is pretty good, to be fair. I'm not a pro player.
Fair play. I
think that's reasonable. That's not terrible.
My reactions, honestly, I watch replays of myself sometimes and I want to die. I feel so bad at my reaction times. It's horrific. By the way, it's classic, like, we're past the watershed, it's past 8 o'clock. Someone in chat did ask, they're wearing earbuds with headsets. Why is that? One is for the in-game audio, that's the in-ears they've got, and the headset they have over the top normally plays white noise into that, well, space around their ears as well, so you can't hear outside noise as well. No kind of indicators from external sources as to what's going on in the game. And that's why you have 2 sets there, the headset for one thing and the in-ears for another. In some cases, of course, the headset also has the microphone on it. It's their main means of communication. But generally what you'll see as a setup, especially in the live venue on the weekend, is in-ears for the game audio and then white noise machines over their ears otherwise through a headset.
When Des plays, he often looks like he's using neither.
Sit off, Tim.
Here we are then, halfway through the round. No real coming together between the two teams yet. We've still got the hunt on. Leakifak is going to find his man, takes down Envy Taylor. Unsang is there with one of his own on to Solotov though, 4 versus 4. BDS not looking in bad shape at the minute. They've got the main breach open, which is good. That's going to help them at least push into that side of the map and start working across. But look at this, a heavy challenge again, coated right up there at that line of defense, just not wanting to let BDS get this control of Cash. Needs to be careful though, peeking around the door frame, almost gives himself away.
I'm amazed that BDS is struggling. You know, taking 2 minutes here to even start looking inside the breach. Like, sure, you've now got one through the wall, but let's not forget, this ain't the site. Gym and Bedroom is the site that we're going for. Normally teams have got control of this part of the map inside 60, maybe 90 seconds. Here we are, a solid 135 seconds in, and they're only just starting to make their way through. The Daemaster Shaiko marching his way forwards, the one you'd expect to be trying to take ground here, but they've got one player now playing on the south windows, which is Leak. In fact, you can see here, 3 players out towards Cash and CC, and they still don't have full control of construction with just 30 seconds to go.
Multiple nades come in, Unsang avoids one, but can't get away from the second. The kills start falling, and BDS might just be able to make this work. 20 seconds left to go, and they're now 4 versus 2. It's JLT and Woogieman trying to hold on. Will Woogieman prove to be the boogeyman? 1 versus 4. It's going to have to be something big. 10 seconds left to go. Cut down by users, and that's going to be BDS taking a pretty speedy approach to the second half of round 2.
I was really nervous when it came down to, what, 45 seconds on the clock, and they were only just getting control of Cash and CC. Dplus Kia did a wonderful job going 1 for 1. You won't complain about losing the 1, for example. To be in a 4 versus 4 with, you know, over 2 minutes of time wasted is the dream of any would-be roamer. They played that so well, but then you meet the BDS that we all expect to come across, which is a team that have got guns up, they're ready to take any 1 versus 1, and they just make you look silly come the close of the round. Really good stuff from BDS. But I do like what I'm seeing out of Dplus Kia. They are giving challenge to BDS.
Yeah, and I think we've spoken about, you know, mistakes for Dplus Kia. I think they're showing that...
Will Woogieman be the boogeyman? Hang it on a wall, someone said. Hang it in the Louvre! Very good.
Oh, dear. It's not my first time. It's not my first time. No, so, look. Dplus Kia, positives, yes. Fewer mistakes. They're playing confidently, winning gunfights. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of them. It may well be a case that, again, I really don't want to keep writing them off. They've shown us a good first round. They've shown us a good second round. Can they get something out of this? Of course they can. Absolutely. BDS are going to make it very difficult for them. But Dplus Kia also have games to look towards as well. Let's, for argument's sake, say they don't win this one. They go down to one of those best of 3s then to try and survive in the tournament. The better the performance here, the more they can iron out those mistakes, the more likely they are to push themselves at least further through phase 2. You know, who knows what will happen then. So it's not just about the result here. It's gonna be tough to get something against BDS, but you've got to take, even if it's not a win, as much as you can from the game.
All right, well, Cash CC going to be at site for round 3. We've seen a little bit from both teams so far. I mean, Dplus Kia, I'd say, have been the stronger team, but BDS showed, I think, at the tail end of that last round what they're really made of and what they're more than capable of. We're all terrified of seeing Shaiko on the Daemaster, so maybe it's not quite been the flying start that we wanted, but 2 kills at the close of the last round, I think, is a great indication of things that are to come. And the same sort of vibe again, where I expect there'll be some extension. This site really you don't extend too far away from. You might have a roamer out towards Gym Bedroom, of which there isn't one in this round, which is why Leakifak has got here so quickly. Otherwise, there's an extension of 2 players in towards Garage. So the BDS is about the choice they want to take here. Where are you going to try and take East Control? Are you taking West Control, Construction? Are you getting South Control? In this case, looking in towards Garage. Those are the 3 directions you've got to pick from, and really you need 2 of them to make a hit work. And the easiest one is always to try and go for the main breach. But with it being electrified away, they might not necessarily have the tools to get that job done.
BDS's utility use is looking nice over the last couple of rounds as well, really effective. You know, when they are using things like the frag grenades, they're really making sure that they're in the right spot, they're reacting well to it. They got the kill onto Unsang last time, just really good stuff from them. So pretty impressive and something they'll be looking to continue, I'm sure. They're getting a good picture built up of what's inside of sight as well. And you feel at the minute, Des, like the sort of jaws are open and BDS are just waiting to clamp shut. They're just looking to take a big bite out of him here. And there we go. Solotov, he picks up the first headshot onto Woogieman. There's a second challenge coming in. It's Shaiko on the window. Knows he's going to be challenged from behind that Kiba barricade, but confident in taking that fight. Scan goes out. Solotov finds Unsang, and this is not looking good for Dplus Kia right now. 5 versus 3, and they are penned back into sight.
This is the problem once BDS start building up a little bit of confidence and playing the way that we know they can. It's going to be really hard to stop them. It's why in the pregame we were so set on saying, look, this is an uphill battle for Dplus Kia, and it's starting to grow into just that. Yes, 2 players have gone down, but BDS have taken a really, I don't want to say unconventional approach, but all their focus has been on this west side of the map. Main breach is still closed. There is no pressure inside a garage. They're making it work through what is often a very bottlenecky part of the map, and JLT especially is in a really good spot to be able to contest on towards that cash door and stop a plant going down. I say that, now I've got one of the BDS players moving over now. A nade is coming onto the main breach. That'll get opened up by Brede, and suddenly you've now got to worry about a whole new part of the map. Every Taylor's caught out in the middle of sight, and this one looks like it's going to be a BDS win. Very comfortably done so, and a great late opening of that main breach to really upend the whole defense coming out from Dplus Kia.
There was a definite shout of flood at the end, wasn't there? There was a definite flood com going on in the 3v1 there. Flood, 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 in they all went. Found that last kill. And we had a great example. I was talking about BDS's utility use. I complimented it at the beginning of the round. I said they got a lot of value out of the utility. We saw the grenade going in, and look at what it did to MB Taylor. He was just sort of ring around the roses round those. So he had to move. He didn't have a choice.
The breach was being open. He had to go.
It put him in a terrible spot. Like you say, the breach is then coming on, further util use as well at the right time. There was nothing that he could do, and BDS had the angles covered and just got him picked off as he tried to move away. So again, just really effective util use, both of secondary and primary gadgets. Really nice stuff from BDS. 2-1, and probably a little bit more of what we expected from BDS. But like I say, I don't want to downplay. I don't think Dplus Kia are playing badly particularly. BDS have just played really well the last couple of rounds.
I forget who it was earlier that made comments about Leakerfact saying he's just one of them players that's just so full of passion. The best playmaker in the world was how he described it actually to me earlier on today, and I forget who it was that said it. I want to say it's one of the coaches that I asked. One of the teams was saying, you know, he's the guy to watch out for. Every time you see him on camera, he's so passionate. So, like, you know, the way he's commenting to the team, he's obviously like their IGL at this point as well, but the way that he's like barking orders out, but he also does it with a smile and is so excited after every round. I can imagine he's fantastic to play with, and I mean, the results often speak for themselves, right?
You always need a hype man. You always need a vibe man in the start.
That's who you are. That's who you are, Tim. You're the hype man. You're the vibe man.
Well, at least I bring something. I certainly don't bring as many kills as League.
You bring plants, mate, but the kills might be lacking, but it's all right. The heart's there, then the thought counts.
The thought counts. No, you know, you need those players that are, you know, we've seen teams over the years where it is a very quiet team, and there's, you know, you don't have that sort of central figure that's going to pick everybody up and that's going to keep that energy up. And, you know, sometimes you see those teams and it can be a bit of a struggle. You can say, you know, as soon as they lose a round or two, it's difficult for them to bounce back, whereas BDS never really have too much of that problem. And I think that's a big part of what Leakerfact brings to the lineup. So we will keep an eye on that as we go. I'm sure he'll be there to keep spirits up as well.
Very different tactic in this round as well, coming out from Dplus Kia. If you remember last time round, we had those 2 players up on the top floor. We had Unsang jumping out of gym window. We had Woogie off towards red stairs, causing a little bit of bother. Nice little angle there, guys, with the camera. This time round, all 5 players are back on site. You've got one that's dug up real deep inside the dirt, in this case the smoke, unsurprisingly, looking to try and waste time if they do send a shield careering down through dirt, for example. But otherwise, trying to play things very, very safe and sensible here. What worries me about that, and I've said this for years about BDS, if you give them enough time to get set up for a perfect execute with all 5 players alive, there are very, very few teams on this planet that will be able to stop them pulling off a wonderful execute and winning the round. I'm concerned here that Dplus Kia, by putting up no resistance at all, are going to find themselves really getting starved out here if they're not careful. Shaiko maybe being a bit too far the rest of his team now pays the price, and it's a Capital gone, Tim, such a crucial operator to be able to break into blue.
A very big loss, to be fair, when you're looking at creating space, at forcing players out of position, at potentially even executing and getting a plant down. Capital is going to be one of the first on a lineup that you look towards. They do still have the Grim. Users can do some of that work when it comes to moving people people out of position, but not quite as effectively as Capito with those fire arrows. As it stands, BDS continue their work. They get in the kitchen hatch open, and they're looking to get the kills rolling, and Leakifak it is
Here he
to
goes.
take down Woogie Man. Can he find a second? No! Corton hits him on the swing, finds the trade, and Dplus Kia, they'll play that game for the rest of the round. They're 4 versus 3, and they can win with the trade game.
Pixels off a headshot there onto Coated. They're not headshit, I promise. Headshot. I said headshot, guys. Pixels off a headshot on towards Coated. If he gets that one, suddenly that whole site is blown wide open because everyone else is scattered out towards blue and in towards weapons as well. Here, though, it feels like BDS, again, despite losing that early man, have got themselves into a great spot back in a 3v3. They're chancing it all on a kitchen drop. I don't know about this one, Chief.
I don't know what Heater uses is going to take down MV Taylor, though. BDS with a decent advantage now, but they don't have time. That's the big factor. 20 seconds, and we've just got Dplus Kia trying to hold on. Look at this. Pre-day low health. He is planted. Unsang manages to find Solotov. It hangs in the balance. Pre-day has to stick it, but won't. As a perfectly timed Toxic Babe comes out. JLT basically wins the round. Final kill comes in, and Dplus Kia hold on in a 2v3. And by the end of this, Des, it could be rounds like that BDS are looking back on and kicking themselves.
Look, as soon as you see 3 players all gathering on that kitchen hatch, I was like, boys, this probably ain't the play you want. But I think the problem was Leakifak had obviously pushed down main and got himself that first kill, and I was like, oh, great. He can do one of 2 things there. Either hold on towards main and help support his team for this drop and, you know, be a little bit of a disruptor to stop them challenging on towards this hatch drop when it comes on through, or he just carries on pushing, which is exactly what he tried to do. And once he loses his life, they've got no one then at the bottom of main to be able to contest down long or in towards church, and that is where the problems really began. And I feel that Dplus Kia have played it exceptionally well, and this is what I mean. If he holds here or gets in a spot where he's not going to take a blind 1v1 like that, suddenly they walk away potentially with something quite special, but instead everyone's dropped down through kitchen, they've been smoked out, Dplus Kia have collapsed in. It's really well played by them.
That Toxic Babe canister was absolutely beautiful, both in terms of timing and position. Brede was, I think, about a second away from getting that down, but he was so low health that it just needed 1 tick of damage to take him off the plant. You know, it could have been a different situation. They had Dirt Tunnel, potentially maybe users can hold on from there, but the Toxic Babe canister does the job. Fantastic stuff from JLT. Dplus Kia managed to lock down the basement again. The big thing for them really is they need to get one of these top floor sites at least. Dplus Kia are going to need 3 in this half. BDS are going to be very good on the defense, I would expect. It's going to be difficult for Dplus Kia to break them down when they get into the second half. So they really need to be finding a way. If I'm them, I really want to be winning round 5 here. I want to be getting that guaranteed split of 3, and then I've got the chance to go on and get a 4th as well. It's been tough for them on the top floors so far, though.
It has. I think the important thing they'll be looking at here is saying, guys, we're at 2-2. We're doing pretty well, to be fair, by all things considered. The BDS, I imagine they'll also themselves feel, by their own standards, disappointed, but I think overall happy if they walk away with the 3-3 half off the back of this. Still plenty of time for them to get this round over the finish line. You can already see the Candelas flying on through, and JLT has already found Leakifak here. That is the blitz offline, something they were relying on so much in this attack. But that's not going to stop them, Tim. They're still walking, they've still got guns up, and they're still looking for their kills. 2 already found out by Yuzus.
This is the problem. Somebody like Yuzus is just going to walk in and find one after another. Solotov manages to pick one up inside of the showers. You look at it and you think, yes, they've got the blitz. This is a great round for Dplus Kia. They've managed to drop the shield. But then you've got Yuzus just 2 feet planted in the middle of side, just bang, 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 bang. Kills all over the place. And that is the danger with a side like BDS. They can shoot their way out of trouble. If they lose that, you know, that focal point of their attack, if they lose that momentum driver, that player that's supposed to drive them into sight and push forward, it doesn't really matter because somebody else is going to step up and do the job with a different operator. So good stuff from BDS, not to, you know, have that panic at losing the shield. Just get in there, find the kills. They know what the win conditions are, and one of them's always go in and get the kills.
That's it. And again, it may be maybe started good for Dplus here the first couple of rounds, but BDS have now really grown into this game. Sure, they lost the basement hit. Like, you expect that it's a hard site to attack into. Last I recall, one of the best defensive sites in the game as well, but after Oregon got removed from the pool, that was once upon a time the best defensive site in the game, due to the lack of vertical destruction, no doubt being a big part of that. But all that aside, BDS have got the 3 rounds they were looking for. They'll be happy with how it stands now. They make this a 4-2 and then they go on the defense. The game's done at that point, and we probably push on towards that 7-2 scoreline, maybe a 7-3 if Dplus Kia can claw something back. But the expectation, Tim, rarely defies the reality.
Yeah, I'd agree. I think, like I said, going into that last round, they need at least a 3-3, if not a 4-2 here, which isn't possible for Dplus anymore. I fully expect it. You know, I'd love to be proven wrong, but I fully expect this to get more difficult for them in the second half when BDS get onto the defense, especially if they start putting a few rounds together, because BDS will, start moving with a little bit more confidence, probably play more heavily out into the map, and it'll just make things even more difficult. So they're going to be looking for that breach to begin with, go for both sides to prevent that bandit trick. Too many choices and too little time to go for either. So the breach will be opened up inside of 40 seconds. Great start from BDS. Next move is get themselves into garage and clear out catwalk.
Yeah, really thought for a second there he's going to try and trick off at least the one. Get the thermite off, for example, and it's far from a bad place to be. Denying the main entry or main opening up onto that wall, you're then leaving a lovely vault-sized hole in there, which is very difficult for the attackers to work with. Also makes it hard to then get another exothermic down, because you can have impacts being tossed back your way, for example. So I think fortunate there the Bandit didn't stick it for them, otherwise that becomes a little bit of a problem. You might have to rotate then the Capital over to the west window inside of sight to then force that player away from being able to trick with one of those firebolts. Either way, step 1 is done. We're not seeing that heavy pushing towards gym and bedroom this time around like we saw before. There are 2 players from Dplus Kia hanging out towards this side of the map, probably aware that if BDS try the same thing again, they'll concede so much ground far too quickly. They try to extend themselves a bit further out across the map here, rather than worrying about playing on site itself, and that may well come back to bite them.
Eustace is going to pick up an opener onto MV Taylor. Dplus Kia, we're just looking for a little bit of aggression there. I don't think necessarily a bad idea, looking for that peek out of pool table just to make things difficult for them. As it is, it was Woogieman going for the peek out of pool table. Didn't find his man there, but does find one inside a stock. So that's quite a big pickup there, taking Shaiko off the board, but also that Deimos. So you've got a couple of scans that have just gone missing there, and there's a lot of verticals that are possible inside a site, and I think that's what Shaiko's doing inside a stock there. He's wanting to get those scans and shoot up through the floor and punish anybody playing inside a cache on that soft surface. As it is now, the Book of Leakifak has had to go in and try and continue that work, but he's low health right now.
Place as well, he's just shot in all the places except for where the player was. That's unfortunate. Trying to burn him out here as well, but wrong keeper barrier, I'm afraid, to try and force him away. He's still chilling up here and waiting for the challenge to come on through. They know where he is. And, these yellow pings have been great for BDS in the round, and finally they get the punish. Leakifat finding his man, and that intel game is coming in strong.
Yeah, really well played from BDS there to clear out catwalk, and only 10 seconds left to go. They need to think about getting this diffuser on in and getting it planted. Breeder will be looking to get in behind that server stack. A good nitro could end it.
Great nitro.
It does. 5 seconds left to go. Diffuser's down. Kills keep raining for Dplus Kia. This could be a really nice hold, and is as they take down the second attempt to put the diffuser on the ground. Dplus Kia level things up at 3-3.
I think BDS gave far too much of the map there over towards Dplus Kia. We spoke about the 3 players extending in towards gym, bedroom, construction, main stairs. Look at the end around state. There's a couple of players playing down below. They've still got some players sat inside of garage at the same time as well, coming in below from lobby. BDS tried to keep it too simple, just a little bit too simple there, and not controlling enough to make a successful plant work. 2 C4s, 2 kills, 2 plant denials. What more can be said? They get the 3-3 half. I think both sides will be... BDS probably won't be, but I'd say both sides will be okay with a 3-3 split.
You got to look at... I'd be interested to look back at that round as well and see exactly what BDS were doing for a lot of it. As you've talking about ground that they've given up there, or, maybe not claimed, but they opened the breach after 40 seconds.
It was really weird, wasn't it? Yeah.
They opened the breach after 40 seconds, and then with 10 seconds left, they're running along catwalk and throwing a diffuser down behind server. There's a lot of time in between there. It's not an overly complicated attack if that's what you're going for. You get the breach, you get some control down in lounge if you can to prevent any verticality denying the plant going down, and you get your catwalk. I don't know if maybe there was a little bit of, trying to play too much of, you know, Demos, Shaiko and the Demos getting caught out in stock, getting taken down by Woogieman, trying to play the verticals, Leakerfax in there, trying to find these players in cash. You don't really need to. Just get your catwalk sorted, hold on to lounge, walk in and put the diffuser down. Just avoid those nitros and you'll laugh it.
The thing is, I mean, okay. Maybe not quite the starting play from Unsang there, trying to get a little bit aggressive a bit too quickly, but Shaiko is taking him out.
Shaiko as well there.
Huh?
I think a little bit of luck for Shaiko there.
Maybe a little bit in terms of time.
He's prayed as the shield comes in through the window and he's got the kill, but...
Yeah. I mean, okay, the interesting start to lose the Blitz so soon. Again, it's one of the things where I look at it and think, you really want the Blitz to be in a position to capitalize on what else the team has enabled. You know, that's a great shot. Wow, see you later, Shaiko. Woogie's carrying on today, isn't he? He's having a go.
Absolutely beautiful from Woogieman. What a flick that was. Absolutely unreal. That leaves us then at 4 versus 4. And like you say, once again, Shaiko taken off the board. Been a little bit quiet so far through this one. And the loss of this army is a big one as well. You know, we know how important those keeper barricades are, particularly if he could have got himself, you know, back into sight and held on to that armory corner, really make it tough for them to play in blue or play in dirt. It holds down a lot of sight, even watches the kitchen drop a little bit, but that's not going to be possible anymore.
One of the things I always worry about when watching teams like Dplus Kia or being, you know, being very honest, like teams that aren't maybe top-level teams that you'd expect to see competing for the top 4 spots at a major, is their defenses can be fine because you can get your pre-setups, you know where to hold, you know where to play around and how to do it. It's the attacks where things can come undone because there's so much to do and so many moving parts to properly coordinate and communicate with, that if you can't do that effectively as a group, you just find yourself losing valuable seconds and making little mistakes along the way that a good team will really punish you for. So far, Dplus Kia have dealt with it, I'd say, mostly okay, outside of course, the early Blitz death, which really shouldn't have been a thing. But to have taken Shaiko off, yeah, a peak that Shaiko didn't really need to take, to be honest with you, is certainly a good way of equalising things back out. So all things being equal with 45 seconds on the clock, they've got a good chance here. Let's hope it's not going to be an everyone down kitchen hatch drop like we saw BDS pulling out.
Doesn't look like it will be. We saw Woogieman heading down main stairs there. He's still in that position, has diffuser in hand, so he's not really going to have too much time to relocate necessarily. That's unfortunate. Courted was just looking, I think, to get that down behind the boxes. Didn't quite reach. Did with the second. Frag grenade is going to go in.
Nice.
Knows that he needs to move. Can he find his kill? No, that puts the diffuser down inside of sight. And BDS now just need to hold on and not give away too many silly deaths. Envy Taylor gets one in the 1v3. Unlikely to find the other two. They know exactly where he's coming from. Users picks him up, and that's going to be a successful defense for BDS. And it comes back, I think, you know, to what you're saying there, Des. When you get on the attack, there's more moving parts, there's more to do, there's more that can go wrong. And I think Dplus Kia at the end there, just a little stretched.
They've really Hail Married as well, I think, on the Oster plant going down on the pillar. We've seen a few teams making use of that, where you kind of just creep your way forward towards the pillar, you open the wall to your left, you step in, you plant. You are somewhat exposed, but with things like kitchen hatch cover, it can be enough to make sure that goes down. The Oster almost doubly secures that. But they hadn't considered things like a C4 being tossed their way or an impact nade coming in as well. And I think ultimately, for me at least, the gunfight that Leakerfax took there at the very end, and I actually think it was the first shots came in from Coated, I think it was. That for me was really more telling than anything else, because they've had a few free shots there at the Fenrir. He spun round 90 degrees and just one-tapped the guy. You don't really get second chances against this BDS side. They will punish you for that, and they've just learned that firsthand.
4-3 then, as BDS get themselves their first successful defense. They're going to head us up to gym and bedroom next of all. And I was going to say last round, it's been a BDS trait for quite a long time now. They're not really a heavy roaming team. Generally speaking, they're going to play largely around the site, maybe a small extension. Down in the basement, I was kind of hoping to see a little bit more from them in terms of trying to hold on to the entire map. You know, we've already said Dplus Kia, they're going to have a lot to do here on attack. For me, throw more moving parts at them, throw more puzzles at them, go play somebody in strip, let them burn a minute and a half while they try to clear them out and just make life difficult for them. You know, I feel like BDS maybe are giving an opportunity by sitting inside a site potentially. you know, let's not forget they lost the blitz after 20-30 seconds last time. That's really unlucky for Unsang, just jumping in through the window. Shaco's sat there, open arms. Like, if that doesn't happen and he, you know, maybe bullies him a little bit and pushes down blue and they've still got that shield, potentially have been different.
Hello?
Here you go, they just go running on into sight. This is what I'm talking about. There's nothing else for them to focus on except run in and get some kills. BDS, they don't know, they're coming out of the walls, Nest!
Iron Sight and Maru just charging in, silenced at that as well, and mowing down 2 or 3. It's still come down to a 1v1, mind you, and Coated's done it! A 3K for himself, and well, that is certainly one way to get things over the finish line.
Perfectly timed from Dplus Kia as to what I was talking about. By keeping themselves locked into sight like that, BDS offer that opportunity to Dplus Kia to say, let's just hit them hard, hit them fast.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what they've done. If they just pause them a few more problems, somebody out in strip, cash and CCTV, try and hold on to that. Maybe somebody lounge stock. You know, a few of these places whereby Dplus Kia are then going to have to go in and do things, have to go in and burn time, and, you know, maybe lose a life doing it. It's going to make life a lot more difficult for them. Don't give them the opportunity to simplify things. If anything, complicate it.
It brings me back to that game between G2 and Liquid earlier, when it was G2 really turning on the heaters and moving quickly in rounds to unsettle what was otherwise a pretty coordinated defense. But the comms go crazy when you're being hit from 2 or 3 different angles. By the way, just worth stressing, in case you are also interested in that other game, Scars versus G2 is over on twitch.tv/ Rainbow Six Bravo, where Scars are currently up 5-3. G2 have taken their tactical timeout. They're playing on Chalet. It's definitely a game to also have up on your side screen. So why not watch both at once? I love it when you find one round's kind of going through the prep phase and getting set up and the other one's coming towards its close and you can bounce between the two so comfortably. That could be scary for G2 though. They could be in 0-2 territory straight away, Tim. Oh! So mortifying for them.
So could BDS at this rate.
Both teams could, yeah.
This is what I love. It's what I love about day one of Swiss. There are always surprises. There are always upsets. You know, if I'd have said to you at the beginning of the day that both, at least one of Sonics or SSG would be on 0 and 2, you'd be like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But that's the position we're in.
And they've had a rough day today so far, man.
They really have had a
To be fair, EU are also building that way. Just classically, as we always see, Brazil are on top.
Yeah.
As if the script would be anything else after all these years.
There's plenty of time for change yet. We always see it, and it will change over the next few days. So do not give up hope, my NA friends. There will be, I'm sure, better days for you than today. We're going to have the breach not getting open. The first one was just thrown into electricity.
Hello?
Blitz is just walking on it. Dplus Kia, come on.
The thing is, if they get breach open there, that's a great play. Because you're capitalizing on the chaos, but they completely messed up getting the breach opened up.
What the fuck are you doing?
Yes.
I agree.
Yes,
the thing is, again, I understand the intent. And this is the thing about Siege, I think, is oftentimes you'll see a team try something and it's be like, what the hell are they doing? That looked terrible. But it's one of those things, they've tried it in scrims, for example, they've workshopped it, and it makes sense, and it's worked a bunch of times. And you try it the one time in officials, and something doesn't quite go to plan, and it looks terrible.
It just didn't pan out.
If the breach gets opened up there, different conversation we're having right now, because they get to start shooting them in the back.
I don't hate the attempt. It is what it is. Like, give it a go. You know, all you've got to do is look at round 8. You know, look at round 8. Nobody was laughing at round 8. Dplus Kia went in and gave it a go. Absolutely steamrolled BDS in that round.
That's exactly it, yeah.
You know, they try it in 9, it doesn't work. It is what it is. 5-4 then to BDS as this one continues to rumble along. Coming into it, you know, I maybe expected a 7-2 or so. Dplus Kia, I think, outperforming what people probably expected against BDS on Clubhouse. So, you know, fantastic.
Please, let's clip that leak fact bit.
I am absolutely certain it's probably already been.
You know where that needs to go, mate? That needs to go in the Ranky Discord soundboard.
Do you reckon?
Please.
I don't know if we've got space. It's pretty tough.
Well, we can make room. We can make room. Take one of my voice lines off if you want, mate. That's worth going in there.
Nah,
just so I can play it when someone bottles a 1v2 or something.
So let's get on with this. Round 10. It's going to be BDS in the lead, but only by 1. They are able to go back down to Church and Arsenal.
G2 are down 6-3, by the way.
Yikes. BDS back down to Church and Arsenal. Just looking at where everybody is, we've got 4 down on site at the minute. We've got a Scopos that's been, I was going to say it was the shield, but it's not the shield, it's Leaky Fat. This is what I wanted to see from BDS. I said, you know, just turtling up on site. It's not causing Dplus Kia enough problems. It's not causing them enough obstacles to have to overcome to get through to attacking onto site. The question, as it always is the case, for somebody on a little bit of a lurk like this, is timing for Leaky Fat. He's been drawn out. That's good stuff from Dplus Kia. The question now is how easily can they deal with it, because he's going to relocate himself, take 2 drones and head down to bar. Are they aware of where his second shield is located? That's got to be the question.
Bye-bye. If those who missed it earlier on, we had a fantastic moment where Maya was on Chalet, tucked in towards corner of Library, TP'd way down towards his other shell, and then TP'd back as it landed at his feet, and he just died without being able to do anything about it. It was hilarious. And I'm always just hopeful now for a really funny moment that a player will swap back to that very exposed shell. Obviously, Leaky Fat's got the brain not to do that, but it would have been funny.
JLT going to be getting Dirt Tunnel open. Hasn't been reinforced, so just a soft breach will do the job. It'll save him some Selma charges. Can potentially go towards assisting with opening those hatches. Should Envy Taylor not have had time or opportunity to get all of them done, but it looks like he's going to be racing through the map doing exactly that. I'm a little bit concerned about time here for Dplus Kia. There's only a minute left on the clock. We're only just getting hatches. That might have been better about 30 seconds ago, to be honest. And it feels like we could result in, you know, another one of those situations where they're pushing down into 5, or, you know, maybe at a great opportunity for BDS players with, you know, 15, 20 seconds left to go. This is going to be a tough one for Dplus here.
And look who it is. It's the boogeyman on the other side. Not quite the boogeyman, but close enough. It's Unsang sat there on the blitz, waiting to cause a little bit of pressure. I'm going to have to respect that in the same way he's got to respect them. I was going to say there are C4s in back pockets. There's impacts ready to head his way, and lock him off if you might, but he's made a paper at this point. There we go. A second C4 will collect the man, but not before Coated has found Shaiko. Plant's going down with 8 players still in the server here. That half-wall plant again has gone through. In fact, no! Just picked down at the last second. They're not going to be able to get to this in time either by the looks of it. This is a bit roughshod by them. Blue sure may be in their control, but JLT has got to do it all by himself, and it's simply not going to happen. BDS up to match point.
Yeah, I did question the time that Dplus Kia had. They left themselves with a situation where if that plant didn't go down, they didn't really have time for a second chance. It then becomes you've just got to find your kills, and that's always going to be tough. Ultimately, like I said, they were pushing in to 4 members of BDS. Always a difficult battle. Breedy, I think it was, just getting the kill on that planter in the nick of time to prevent that going down. There was only half a second, maybe a second left on that plant clock. We've seen it a couple of times in this game where it's been really, really close to getting activated, but just hasn't happened. So Dplus Kia, it feels like BDS have just took it up a gear in the last couple of rounds. They feel like this one needs to be over.
Yes. Like I say, they aren't going to be messing around when it starts coming down to potentially facing elimination. There's that reminder as well, when the promotion games come through, so you hit 2-0, you hit 0-2, all of your remaining games end up being best of 3s. Which is why tomorrow we go into, I think it's 4 best of 1s to kick the day off, then we've got 4 best of 3s to follow. That's the outcome that faces the loser of this game. They'll have to win their way through on best of 3s solely, as will, of course, the teams they face off against. So it does mean a lot. You win here, you still get to the best of 1 to have a go out tomorrow. Otherwise, it's very, very difficult best of 3s. And as much as that gives you a chance over a series to prove yourself, it certainly increases the workload and the stress that you put yourself under as a result.
It's going to be gym and bedroom, and I like what I see again. Solotov down in the basement. Like I said, from BDS's perspective, the last couple of rounds, they've tried to cause more problems, generally speaking, around the map, burn more time, and it has worked for them. They haven't had Dplus Kia trying to take those opportunities to just rush on in and get kills. They've had more work to do. They've had more problems to solve, and they've struggled with it a little bit more. So, Solotov, just keep an eye on him, sort of, you know, half an eye as the game progresses. Down in the basement at the minute, we can see just outside of Oil Pit. I'm not sure that they're aware of his presence. He's looking for a nitro up Oil Pit, or maybe a free kill if they try to walk up Catwalk. You know it for sure.
Oh man, surely this isn't how Dplus Kia's game ends.
Easy as this. Easy as this. They're looking at him. They're looking at him. You're looking at him.
Oh, nice, JLT. JLT was looking at him, Tim.
This is, I mean, you know, is he stuck in there with you, or are you stuck with him? That's the question.
He's just letting go. They have no idea Leaky Back's here. I mean, he's dead anyway, so who cares? Oh, and on the breach, he's found out the one and got a second two. That is how you end a game. Poor drone work coming on through, revealing nothing. And leak it back out of the shadows. Finds two, diffuser down in the middle of, already sight at this point, in the middle of the room. And 2 versus 4, feels like this one is cooked.
Yeah, it's a real shame for Dplus here after the way that they dealt with users down in Oil Pit, just showing good due diligence, being aware of where the threats might come from and getting that situation dealt with, but it just hasn't been enough on the round.
Okay.
You know exactly where Shaiko's going to play in. This is the problem sometimes. Shaiko plays those positions so well.
He's got spots named after him for that exact reason.
You know exactly where he's going to be. Like, he plays it fantastically well and he makes it difficult to do anything about him in those spots, but equally, it is also always possible to preempt his position. Woogieman manages to take down users in the trade for Courted. 1 versus 3 as Shaiko will be collected. 56 seconds left, so Woogieman plenty of time, but it doesn't matter. He's got 2 angles to cover and he can only look one way at once. It's going to be Shaiko to take him down after being collected, and that is a win. As expected, really, for BDS, but I've